In a time long, long ago, nestled deep beside a whispering forest, there was a small Igbo village. Life was simple and days were bright, but when the sun went down, a thick blanket of darkness would fall. The nights were so dark, you couldn't see your own hand in front of your face. The moon, it seemed, had forgotten this little corner of the world, never gracing it with its silver glow. Fear began to take root in the hearts of the villagers, growing as long and deep as the shadows that danced in the dark. Children would cling to their parents, and elders would tell stories of a time when the night wasn't so frightening. But in this village lived a tortoise. He wasn't the biggest or the strongest, but his mind was as sharp as a newly forged blade. Seeing the fear that held his friends and neighbors captive, a brilliant idea sparked in his mind. He gathered all the villagers in the central square, his shell gleaming even in the dim twilight. "My friends, my neighbors," he announced, his voice surprisingly firm, "I promise you, I will bring light to our village. I will make the moon shine for us." A ripple of murmurs went through the crowd. The hyena laughed, the monkey chattered in disbelief. How could a slow, steady tortoise possibly bring the moon down from the sky? Undeterred by their skepticism, the tortoise explained his clever plan. "We don't need the moon itself, just its reflection. If we can gather the moon's reflection from the great river, we can fill our village with its light." The animals still scoffed, but the tortoise's determination was unwavering. That night, he made his way to the river bank. The moon was a sliver in the sky, but its reflection shimmered on the water's surface like 1,000 scattered diamonds. The tortoise looked up and whispered, "O beautiful moon, I will carry your light back to my people. They need your comfort." With great care, he took his large, empty calabash and dipped it into the river, scooping up the silvery, rippling image of the moon. He carefully placed the calabash on his back, hiding it under his sturdy shell, and began the slow, steady journey back to his village. He moved with purpose, protecting his precious cargo of liquid light. The path was dark and treacherous, but the thought of his village, bathed in gentle moonlight, spurred him on. The next evening, as dusk settled once again, the tortoise called everyone to the center of the village. He had placed a large, empty clay pot in the middle of the square. With all eyes on him, he slowly and carefully tilted his calabash, pouring the water into the pot.
A collective gasp swept through the crowd. As the water settled, a soft, silvery light began to emanate from the pot, growing stronger and stronger.
It pushed back the shadows, illuminating the faces of the villagers with a gentle, magical glow.
The light filled every hut, every pathway, every corner of the village.
A child pointed to the sky and shouted with joy, "Look, the moon! It shines brighter than it ever has before." And it was true. The moon in the sky seemed to have been awakened by its reflection on earth, and it shone down with a newfound brilliance. From that night on, the villagers no longer feared the darkness. They danced and sang, celebrating the clever tortoise and his incredible gift of moonlight. "Tortoise, you have saved our nights. You are the hero of our village." They cheered, but all the praise began to swell the tortoise's head. He puffed out his chest and became proud. This was nothing, he boasted to the crowd. "Next time, I will borrow the moon itself, not just its reflection." A wise old owl, perched on a branch nearby, hooted softly, "Ha ha, clever you are, little tortoise, but the moon is not so easily taken." And so, while the villagers celebrated their light, they also learned a valuable lesson. It was a reminder that courage and wisdom are powerful enough to light even the darkest of nights, but humility keeps that light shining brightly. The moon now, our faithful friend, shone down on the village every night, a constant reminder of the little tortoise who dared to dream and the community that learned to believe in the impossible. And the story was told for generations, a lesson that your own cleverness and courage, no matter how small you may feel, can bring light into the darkest of places. Just like the tortoise, your ideas have the power to shine bright for everyone to see. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to follow for more stories that light up the imagination.